Hi, this is Jacek. Again, maybe this is my final piece on the Great Break, and I will talk more about the results of the Great Break, which I didn't really know that are going to happen. I didn't foresee those results, and I tell you they are incredible. And this is the part of my page, The Alpinist of Life, and this is the part of wanting you to grow, wanting you to relax, and wanting you to be more with yourself and live your own way. So, as you know, I did that break, 3 months, and I call it a great pause or a great break, and this is a kind of sabbatical that is an idea of taking a break every 7 years to really recharge yourself on all the levels and re-inspire yourself for the next stage of life. So last time I talked about the benefits as I saw them at the end of my break, basically on the planes, before boarding the plane back to Europe, which was difficult. Actually, only my third plane that I paid for worked out. The first one to Portugal was cancelled. The second one to Germany I was not allowed to board because I was not allowed to transit with my passport somehow. I don't know how. I lost that money and I bought the third ticket through Qatar, which allowed me to come back to Europe. So what happened? As I arrived to Central European winter, I was in shock, my friends. I really was in shock. First of all, smog that I really, really hate, and I really know how bad it is for our health, was quite incredible, even comparing to Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, where there is a lot of smoke from cars and so on. It really put me down, that smog, and it's really something you cannot escape. It's really something, it's everywhere in Central Europe, unfortunately. So those who don't have smog, consider yourselves really lucky, and know that you will live longer, at least a few years on average. So the second thing was kind of a dark weather, short hours, little sunlight. I wasn't used to this in Brazil, where the sun actually was in zenith and where I was escaping sun. Here I'm hoping for the sun, and still it's April and I'm still hoping for a little bit more sun. And it kind of created this sad syndrome in me right away, which is kind of a little more or less depressive state. But on top of this, what was actually the worst and caused the most of my shock was the stress and fear of people around me. And of course, coronavirus is one of the reasons. Lots of people lost jobs or are getting paid much less or are surviving, just barely surviving on what they have, and maybe the government gave them something but not much. So I would say that a large percentage of population, and older people of course, but also a lot of younger people are in this fear, pandemia of fear and anxiety because they don't know what's going to happen, whether they're going to sick or not, and they are afraid of other people. And I really hate to see this, because I'm not afraid of other people, and I like to socialize, especially after being such a long time mostly alone. I had friends there. I made quite a lot of friends, and I had one friend visiting me for quite some time, for a few weeks, but otherwise I was alone. And I wanted to socialize. I wanted to share with people what happened, how great it was, but not many people are interested. I think some people are like, "Oh, you did that? We suffered here, and you went on vacation. Is this even ethical? You leaving the ship, the Titanic, and you are a strong man. You could have helped. I needed to help myself, so that's my answer, and I did help myself, and through what I'm speaking and what I'm writing about. And actually, I did finish my next book in Brazil. I am trying to help the way I can and the way I feel I'm most useful, although I'm also, of course, open to other ways of helping, including that I worked with some depressed and people in crisis in Brazil, actually. So this is the first part. For about 3 weeks, I was in shock and state of depression, and some sort of nervousness, which was partly caused by media, which are talking about all the worst things all the time, partially by a lot of things I had to do after not being here for quite some time and trying to recover my company and prepare some courses. All of this online now, which is what I'm not so used to, but yes, okay, I'm open, but it pays much less and it's not so fun as doing real things with people face to face. So that was this part. And suddenly, after, maybe during a little break I took, I went to the mountains for 3 days. There was wind, it was cold, there was snow. I bathed in very cold water, Wim Hof method. I suddenly felt this incredible boost of energy. And I felt incredibly, and I still feel, and it's 1 month or so after that little trip, I really feel like a newborn. I really feel that what I decided to achieve, which is start fresh, my second part of life actually happened. And I'm like, wow, wow, what a freshness, what a newborn feeling, and what incredible amount of energy. And the benefits are my mind is definitely refreshed. I started writing poetry and articles again. I'm like, wow, I haven't written poetry for 2 or 3 years, or at least not much. And suddenly, boom, they happen. My soul is refreshed. And it's kind of re-inspired. I'm inspired to do new things and to implement new ideas. I'm professionally recharged. I feel so much energy for my coaching, my training. I'm like, wow. And physically, I'm re-energized, really re-energized. I feel very strong at the moment. And of course, I don't fear COVID or anything like this, because I really feel strong in all sorts of ways. And I'm fresh emotionally. I feel like, oh, I'm open. It's spring, and I'm definitely open for new emotional experiences. Let's call it this way. I hope they will be mostly positive. But in the meantime, I went to 2 funerals because people were dying here, especially in winter somehow. That winter is so depressive that I guess the statistics for winter deaths are more. But this didn't put me down. And the most incredible was the result in creativity. I have so much creativity that I have discovered 8 new inventions, really like inventions for home, for kitchen, for computer, and some of them are really like serious inventions. I'm thinking how to find a person who will help me to monetize these inventions, get them to production or something, because most of them are kind of cute, ecologically oriented, making our life more ecologic and also easier at home or with other things. So I'm just like, oh my God, this mind is working so much. And yes, in Brazil, I had large moments when, especially when it was too hot, when my mind was really like stalled, like not really working very well. And I was even afraid of, what's going to happen with this mind? Am I going to be so lazy all the time in my life? But I allowed this state to be, that state of, definitely it was some laziness. And then the state, once I came back here for 3 weeks, when I was quite depressed, I was like, am I ever going to get out of it? And yes, I did. And this is what I want to report to you, that this is what happens, that this experiment actually worked, and I did really recharge and refresh my life. So now it's your turn. You can do it too. whatever difficulties, whatever work you have, you can always take a longer break, and actually it will give you a new life. I'm really talking to you seriously right now, and there is nothing more important in your life, especially right now, life of anyone, because we are all, 95% of us, let's say, are all running in this race all the time. And if you're all the time in the race, you're going to fall down one day and not get up with sickness, psychological problems, or other catastrophe. If you take a break, suddenly you can start over, and you have many more choices, all sorts of choices. So I tell you one thing, you may think you don't have enough money, but you can do it cheaply. You don't have to go very far away. You can go to some hut in the wilderness and just hide there. You don't have to leave the country, although it's also useful because you meet another culture. But if you want to connect to your soul and to your body, you really don't need to go anywhere expensive, anywhere luxurious. I'm still dreaming of another retreat in next year, and I definitely plan such a break every year right now. Why not? Why not to live your life to the fullest and to really enjoy and taste this life? Why not? So with this encouragement, I'm finishing. This is Jacek Skrzypczyński, in other ways Jack Skysky, of the Alpinist of Life, and this could be likely my last report on my great break. Let's see what happens. Maybe I will report again because it's interesting what will be the long-term results of this. But I will cheer you up. I'm cheering you up to do it also. Not to get yourself too much into the anxiety of the pandemia, and also anxiety of everyday life race. It's your choice, it's your decision to take a break, and that such a break is very important for everyone. And I have experimented with this, I have done it, and now I'm sure that this actually works, and it will work for others. So if you need some help with this, I can coach you on how to get to the break or what to do on the break. My book is finished in Polish. I'm translating into English, but I will translate the chapter about taking solo, because it's kind of a solo, and I will also post it on Facebook. So thank you so much. I'm really happy you are with me, at least this way, and talk to you again next time. Thank you. Next time. Thank you.